Hey, good afternoon. I think that it is, well past 4:20, and so that makes us late. But
It
that's
is,
okay because
it's just a little bit though.
just a little. And it's a holiday, and the boss isn't really paying attention.
I mean, who works on the Friday after Christmas except for both of
Any.
us?
Well, and a lot of people, this was a really weird one for folks. They didn't have the whole holiday weekend off, and
Yeah,
so my son had to go back to work this morning for half day.
I went back to work today.
Who's buying electrical supplies? I was grateful that the vet was back to work today, though, because I had to take a dog to the vet. So grateful that they were working. And maybe grateful that tow trucks are working a little bit later in the day because my son, his car is not recognizing his keys
Okay.
or something to that effect. I don't know,
Does he have a
but
push
it
to
won't
start?
start. No, I maybe, yeah,
Because I
maybe.
remember a colleague of ours, I was on the phone with him who travels to Tallahassee a lot. He he rented a car and he had the push to start and the car started, but then he couldn't find the keys and he thought maybe he left them on top of the car and then drove away so the car was able to start. And so a couple hours later, uh Eric Stevens found the keys to
Name
the
names.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a story, but it was such a that's what reminded me of it when you said that about your son. And we
Yeah,
love Eric from Florida for Care. And
sure.
anyways, but so what's he gonna do? Does he have to get a bunch of stuff done?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. They're off taking care of it right now, so I'm a distracted mom this afternoon. But no excuses for being late.
Technology. This is what we do when we put too much on technology and we are so reliant on them. Try going a day without your phone.
Why?
Well, or the push to start in your car. I probably just sit there being like, what do I do now? So, well,
No
I hope it
phone?
all works out. And
No
the
way.
dog okay?
Well, Staples and a $200 vet bill, and you know how this goes. It's not one
Well,
thing. When it's raining, it's boring, but
yeah, I had a vet
we have
visit
lots of
too.
leftovers from our Thanksgiving dinner. So when my
What'd you
husband
have?
does get home, it'll be leftover. We had a standing rib roast and a
Okay.
couple roasted chickens. Had a bunch of people at the table. So we
You want to
did
know what
both
I
those.
did? That was like
Tell
so
me, I do.
memorable. I got high and watched the Polar Express for the first time. I believe
Uh,
it's now my new family tradition for every single Christmas for the rest of time forever. Because if
nice.
you have not done it, you should do it. And then you'll know why I'm so enthusiastic about it.
So my new family Christmas tradition is come to Cynthia's house during the afternoon and watching Polar Express and getting hot.
Yeah, yeah, well, high first and then watch Polar Express. And for some reason, I've never seen the movie before then, but I was like I had childlike wonder in my eyes. I was like 5 feet away from the TV, like, and I've got a
How
projector, so
high
it's
am
a
I?
hundred inches. And so
How high
I
am
did not
I?
have, I had the best Christmas ever, just like Santa
How
would have wanted
high
for me.
am I? How high am I?
I'm just saying, like, I
Merry
enjoyed every second
Christmas.
of it, and I never
I
would have
that's
thought that would be the movie.
outstanding. Polar Express. And this morning we had some feedback on Polar Express as the greatest of all holiday movies, and it appears that while they're not a sponsor of elevated intel, they are certainly something that we are talking about. So if you're looking
I'll
for
work
your
on it.
if you there you go, if you're looking for your next favorite, we are going to talk about a couple important things. It's not the big news of last week where President Trump rescheduled cannabis, and not the big news of the week before where the federal government went back to work but shut down cannabis. I think it's been a little slower than that, but we're going to talk a little bit about the year in review. We're going to touch base a little bit more on rescheduling. We're going to talk a little bit about the haters who are going to hate. So where do
Mhm.
you want to start today, Cynthia?
I think we start with the haters because we should
Get it
always
out of the
end
way.
on a high note and a positive note. But it is Jody
I
is
know.
well,
Tee, tee.
I know, pun intended. But Jody is one of those individuals who has been in the cannabis space and actively participating for so long that she already knows the players that are out there working adversely, the prohibitionist group that are our enemies, are not frenemies, just straight up enemies. The people that are actually getting a lot of shit done, like in Massachusetts and in Maine, like she mentioned last week and the week before, I think, where they are getting ballot initiatives implemented and successfully signing, getting signatures with incorrect information about what people are signing. And these groups are known to Jodi, and some are known to me, but maybe not to the public at large. And so I think it's beneficial for, as you start to go through the new year, people are getting very brazen with their attempts to increase their prohibitionist agendas against our industry. And I think you should keep an eye out for some of these groups, because now that rescheduling conversation has happened, they are ramping up big time.
Right.
And it's scary. So maybe just mentioning a few of them. One of my favorites, Sam, freaking Sam, SAM, Smart Approaches to Marijuana, which you have talked about, Drug-Free America, which you have
Still
also
out
mentioned.
there, right? Well, and people, even if you haven't heard of SAM or you haven't heard of Drug-Free America, Drug-Free America are the folks who created the language that became drug-free workplaces. They are the folks who gave us DARE, dare to resist whatever drugs are bad or whatever, I don't know. But I mean, these are the folks. And so they created the programs, and then they got tax dollars to fund them. So that's pretty insidious. This is the same folks that got $10 million of your Medicaid money. So if you're wondering why your kid's not going to get glasses on Medicaid, or why your grandpa can't get hearing aids on a state-funded program, it's because they spent $10 million to defeat a marijuana initiative.
So you have to scream at your grandpa because he doesn't have a hearing aid, and grandpa, turn down the TV. But yeah, thank Drug-Free America for that. We also have Moms Strong, or Moms Against Marijuana. And I don't want to hate on the moms, but they're just not focusing their energy, that cool mom, enthusiastic Chico's energy with matching accoutrements that could be selling real estate. Instead, they're advocating against marijuana and saying that it's more about the health impacts of the youth, whereas Sam is about opposing cannabis legalization and commercialization, and Drug-Free America talks about abuse and education and advocacy. Everyone's got their little niche area of the prohibitionist side. Johnny's Ambassadors was new for me to hear about.
Oh, that's new.
Partnership for
Save Our Society. Is Save Our Society on yours?
No.
Yeah, they started Save. Yes, they should. When they first went into Save Our Society, Florida Cannabis Action Network did a project called Save Our Families.
Oh, good. And you're like, our society's fine. Save our families. Yes.
Right. Because if you don't have a strong family, your society was doomed to begin with. And your prohibition is wrecking my family.
Oh, really?
I'm flipping out 100%.
Yeah, your family is
in general
hugely affected. Yeah, no, you guys are ideally the hashtag goals. But I get it. They are hurting your family.
100%. Well, and one arrest. I don't know, if you've been around an arrest, but one arrest, whether it's the kid or the dad or the mom or whoever might be arrested, impacting the entire family.
100% familiar.
A night in jail can be enough to change somebody for life, and not necessarily for the better. So these are the folks.
I'm always the one they call when they go in. And then I come and take care of it and get them out. But it's upsetting how many times I have visited family or friends in jail for marijuana. That's it.
20 years ago, this has been a fun journey. 20 years ago, the whole family ostracized me considerably over my position in marijuana policy. I was an early adopter in this and loud about it, and my family, good upstanding pillars of the community, board of the bank at small towns all through Ohio, very religious. Some of them are even closed society religious. So, this big brazen cannabis legalizer, hello. was not very popular and wasn't invited to a lot of things. But now when someone gets cancer, they don't call the doctor. And when somebody gets arrested, they don't call the lawyer. So we've come a long way. So Johnny, what was Johnny?
Johnny's
I didn't know.
Ambassadors is
Johnny's.
yes, that's a group. I don't think they're doing as much as the top three that we already spoke about. And then there's groups like law enforcement and conservative think tanks, National Association of Police Organizations. Sometimes the Chamber of Commerce is someone you should watch out for, sheriff's groups,
100%.
and the Heritage Foundation, usually aligned with prohibitionist stances. So just keep an eye out for those organizations. And if you need a list, we will get you a list. And I feel like the list gets bigger. Unfortunately, it doesn't get smaller.
Well, and again, we're kind of back to that government funding too. If I can get some great tax dollars to move my message, and it sounds like my message is about, protecting kids from drugs, and certainly lawmakers want to fund that. My thought would be that if every drug is age gated and we get to the point where adults can have the drugs that they want, and it's all age gated, that we are going to, then the problem is kids getting drugs from their parents, and we can't solve that. Not with jails.
But we do have to kind of be grateful because we only found out about the rescheduling imminency of it, of the announcement, because Sam was so vocal about their distaste of it, that they announced it on social media too soon. And so we were like, hey, we get to celebrate while they're complaining that this is a bad activity. So I guess still jump the gun with your social media posts. We appreciate you, Sam. With everything else you're doing, you can rot. Eat a bag.
These folks have a presence on social media.
Oh yeah.
Julie Kurtz, who is our community outreach coordinator here at Florida Cannabis Action Network, directs our outreach, was telling me today that she's been on Sam's Facebook page, their group list or whatever, for a while. And a lot of the people that she sees commenting on their page are people who are like, wait a minute, that's not true. Wait a minute. What about the rest of the story? 100%, 100%. The rest
what
of the
I've
story.
noticed recently is there are a lot of, those talk of towns that are on Facebook that come up, and they're usually just people talking about what's going on in your general vicinity. There was one about Titusville, and it was, I can't believe at this children's event where you are supposed to see a parade for Christmas, that there was petition gatherers trying to get signatures for legalization efforts of, smart and safe. And I was like, oh, great, just not great. So I'm looking at the comments and they just lit this woman up. They're like, she's not hurting anybody. Okay. The guy that's chugging Miller Lights in the car with his kids, he's probably more dangerous than anybody signing that petition. And they all stuck up for her. I really thought that there was going to be some Karens that are like, wrong place, wrong time. But no, they were like, you know what? Did you sign it? No. And another lady's like, I signed it. Can I sign it again? And so you're getting more people that are trying to say this is not good. And then the industry and the supporters are saying, want to bet? And we don't have to fight as hard or be as vocal because we have more support. I think that's great.
Well, and I've been seeing a little fallback from some of the people who are in the industry right now, kind of the small mom and pops that are very concerned about what the immediate future looks like. The big cannabis business is taken over.
It's not true.
So but you know what? Agreed. In 2012, when we started looking at, legalization is right around the corner, 15 years ago. One of the things that I remember thinking is there's 22 million people, 23 million people in Florida. If we legalize marijuana tomorrow, how would we possibly have enough cannabis for everybody who would want it and need it?
Right.
And big business, there will be big cannabis business. The advantage, well, and small businesses, I think there is also a place for craft cannabis companies and small businesses. I think that we are closer to building a place for them that is stable than we were last year. That's what I think. So we'll see.
I hope so. I do think that, and I'm just basing this off of since the rescheduling announcement, the financial and business moves that were made by people that are able to be hosted on the TSX, or like, those big companies that are now public companies, they were making some pretty aggressive moves and gobbling up some other groups. And I feel like the big are getting bigger, and they're doing that intentionally, and they're getting a lot of financial support because the industry is being legitimized finally. So yeah, but no matter what, we will always advocate for the little guy, because some of the best weed is grown in small and in intimate little batches.
Craft cannabis,
Absolutely.
Personalized growers for individuals who need special medicine, clean medicine that is absolutely free of growth hormones and unregulated chemicals.
Grown with
that doesn't
love.
go away. Grown with love.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up, because that is probably the most important thing when it comes to it. People who are currently in the industry definitely need to know that nothing is changing overnight, though I think that things are going to change pretty quickly. You're telling me that there's a new directive. I do want to circle back, though. Part of what Drug Free America is doing, and the likes of the opposition, is they are mobilizing their people.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we need to be doing. There was an article this week we were published yesterday in the Tallahassee Democrat, or today in the Tallahassee Democrat. And I sent around a little notice. If you are in the Tallahassee area, jot 150 words to the Tallahassee Democrat about the article. And that keeps that conversation alive.
Yep.
More people read it. If you're someone who likes to be online and you see these articles online, don't be a Karen, right? Support that person who says we need legalization. And if somebody gives a story, I love the one that said 50% of people in legal states, traffic fatalities in legal states, someone involved in the fatality had cannabis in their system.
Right.
And 50% in the non-legal states.
Yep. And
so it
wasn't just cannabis.
100%. But you didn't even get the fact that doesn't matter whether it's a legal state or a non-legal state. People have cannabis in their system. You didn't get the other half of the story, because we are using cannabis. We want cannabis.
They mobilize very well. It's almost impressive if they weren't the opposition, but we can do the same. We just need to come together, which is something that we've been advocating for all year. And
that's right.
Carrying to fruition in Tallahassee. I'm actually starting to become really excited about going to Tallahassee this year.
Excellent.
Where normally I'm kind of like, oh, it's going to be a lot and very little sleep, because I don't sleep well in hotels and stuff. But I've got my dress, I've got my comfortable heels, I've got my appropriate, things to wear and say, and all my paperwork, and I'm ready. I can't wait for CAC this year. We have so much to do.
A lot of exciting stuff's going to be happening in Tallahassee this year. Thanks for bringing that up. And Tallahassee is a beautiful community. We like Tallahassee. It's sometimes very challenging in that, 6 square blocks that end up being the Capitol building. But okay.
It can make you happy and proud and cry all in the same day.
Same day. True. No, and it's
like a rom-com. Yeah.
It is an excellent place to visit. It is not too late to sign up. We are going to accept sponsors in another week or so. So if your business is on the fence about whether or not they're going to sponsor Cannabis Capital, get off the fence, get on board. It's going to be a very impactful, a lot of fun, high energy, fabulous people. We're doing some great things for our business sponsors, which reminds me, shout out to CannaGuard Pro, who was our business sponsor of the month. For those of you who haven't seen CannaGuard Pro, they're taking a time-tested formulation, and they have worked it to be really effective in the cannabis space. So for cleaning your surfaces and turning over between grow rooms. They have some formulations just for you. Uh-oh, wait a minute, moving desk. So I don't
And
want to forget them.
I'm excited. I'm waiting on my box from Steve that he is sending out to me. And so I can put it through the ringer in the laboratory space and, help and get him some extra documentation, hopefully, and see if maybe that kind of helps his cause and his group. He also is part of Hemp for Water, but the Canagard is the featured business of December. And
That's right.
there's
Cannabis
only a few
Action
more
Network.
days. It's the end of
Wow.
year.
I do want to talk about Florida Can's top five, but I think there's some more news.
I've
One thing, another plug, if you have not gotten your tickets for the Crew to Cannabis ball happening
a
in
ball.
Pensacola, going to a ball.
I didn't even know there was a ball to be gone to or a
There
ball to be
is
had.
there is a ball happening. Crew to Cannabis Ball is happening on January 17th. So some of us are staying after in Tallahassee and
Oh,
going to the ball.
going to a
The theme
ball.
is Alice in Wonderland.
But that's my favorite. All my tattoos are based off of Alice in Wonderland. I
Do
have one on my
you?
thigh that says curiosity often leads to trouble, but don't tell anybody.
Wow.
It's a quote from Alice in Wonderland. I also have a clock
I
and
absolutely.
yeah, I love Alice in Wonderland. I should be at that ball, but I didn't know about it until just now. But now that I
Yeah.
know, everybody
And
get
there
your
are
tickets.
there are still tickets, Crew to Cannabis. That's Crew with a K. We still have some advertising stuff, but I think we can make sure that the link to get your Crew to Cannabis ball tickets is in the chat before we're done. So
Okay,
we'll just make that happen.
go to
Okay.
a ball. Balls
It's
out
gonna
at
be
a ball,
it's gonna be fun.
just have a
Crew to
great time.
Cannabis has been with us for a very long time. We love the folks down there in the Panhandle. We're always grateful for the opportunity to get out with them. They started as a parade crew, right, to normalize the use of cannabis. And so, just like any other crew, they create amazing floats and participate in a whole slurry of parades during the Mardi Gras season and Christmas and
Oh
light
wow.
parades. And oh, yeah, they have an
That's
amazing float.
Crystal and her group, right? I was checking my
Crystal
notes
Sillins.
because,
Yeah, Crystal
yep,
Sillins
she'll be with
is
us in Tallahassee and then going to take you
100%.
guys to a ball.
That's right. Uh, uh, Dana, who serves on our board of directors, Dana Williams, who serves on our board of directors, Dana Williams Niffin. She hand painted with the team the float. It is absolutely beautiful. So they kind of repurpose it from time to time. It's a gorgeous float. They have a
That's
tow
cool.
truck company. They have a
Uh-huh.
tow truck company that pulls the float. And so the ball helps raise money for their activities year round. They've got some great sponsors, and George Cam will be in the house
When
as
can we get a float?
hey,
We need a
Brevard
parade.
County. We had a float for many years, but we can do it again.
Okay, we'll work on that. Float
We had
for
a
New
moving
Year's
jail shelter.
resolution. We're going to be
Huh?
in a parade of some sort, whether we're allowed to and permitted or not. But a parade will happen in 2026. Mark my words.
So we had a parade in Brevard County in 2020. Does that count?
No, because I wasn't
Okay.
there. So
All right.
nothing happened before I came.
Didn't
No, I'm
count.
just kidding. That's amazing if it was in Brevard County. That's a big feat. Like to
It
be
was
able
huge
to participate in 2020. That was a
in
rough
a
year for
top parade.
everybody.
We were, I'm sorry, 2000, not 2020,
Oh,
2000.
that was a
Even
long time
further
ago,
ago.
even further.
Long time ago. Long time ago.
And they
Long.
allowed you to be in there, or you just hijacked it?
No. We opened an office in September of 2000, like 3 days. So I guess the parade was 2001. So 3 days before the Twin Towers fell down, Florida Cannabis Action Network holds a street party in downtown Melbourne, Florida, to commemorate the opening of our new offices
Yeah.
in downtown Melbourne. We have great space and right on the main drag in Melbourne, Florida, like there is a main drag, right? But
No, I know what
main
you're
road,
talking about. Very good real estate
right
right
on
there,
right on 192,
too.
shut down the street, and they charged us insurance.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, this is not okay. What can I do to close down the street that they can't charge me insurance for?
Be covered in
So,
bubble wrap, like a whole float of bubble wrap.
I love our lawyers. The lawyers put their heads together and looked at it and they said, well, it looks like you can have a parade. And here's how you do it. And so we had them shut down. We just kind of went in the circles around Brevard. Melbourne's
Yeah,
not
it's
that
like this
big.
long, so you just
Yeah,
have to
and
keep
I just
going.
wanted them to shut down roads
Yeah,
without a permit. So we were almost doubling back on ourselves. I had a friend who lived near one of the parks. I said, how would you like a pot parade to go past your house? He's like, that's great. I'll sit outside my lawn chair. So I'm all about having a new float.
I
Yeah.
feel like it would be more accepted in 2026, and I think we'll have a lot more participation, but we'll put it on the
So there you go.
books.
Parade.
For before we go into, I want us to end on a nice high note. So your top 5 for 2025 for Florida Cannabis Action Network. I love all 5 of them equally. So I do want to talk about nothing really, like Jodi has said, has happened with the rescheduling conversation, because it's just not something that can happen that fast. But President Trump did provide a directive to our very favorites, AG Pam Bondi. Okay. So assigning her or instructing her to complete the review of the rescheduling, with the DOJ by the end of January.
Really?
Yeah, he gave Miss Bondi a timeline, which actually is very interesting because
Wow.
he asked that they issue a final ruling on rescheduling by the end of January. And whether Pam Bondi decides to hold public comment, which may stall that timeline, and even though she doesn't have to, she can opt to bypass it. And it would significantly influence how the policy is implemented and all of that. So that's a directive from the president to get this done very quick. And I think that's pretty telling that it wasn't just the announcement that he wanted. He actually wanted it to get completed because he doesn't want to be like the other ones. Now, well, I mean, a lot of presidents
Right.
past
Yeah.
attempted, and their attempts
Since Bill Clinton.
and miniature milestones that they achieved help us to get this done more efficiently. So we have to be grateful for that. But no, in the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, 70, 30,
71, 72.
70. Okay. Okay. In the Controlled Substances Act, it states that there's no way that a president unilaterally can reschedule a drug by themselves. Okay. It would have to, so it says that in there. So his assignment or his activity of announcing rescheduling really can't do anything under the Controlled Substances Act. So you would have to have a change from Congress, okay, or a very formal, and we've mentioned this often, lengthy rulemaking process as well. That has to happen. It can't just be, I demand it to be so, and by a president, and then it happens. So under that act, no president has unilateral authority to reschedule a substance. So he does need Miss Bondi, AG Bondi, to do her shit pretty fast with the DOJ. So as long as she doesn't ask for a lot of, I mean, she could ask for public comment, but I think since the president said there was nothing but positive comments my way, nobody in opposition, fact checking kind of questions that, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Then
don't fact check him when he's on our side.
There's really no necessity, really. I can see him having that conversation with Miss Bondi about just not needing public comment. But there are some implications of the rescheduling conversation that have become clearer in focus as the dust has settled. So like we talked about, the reclassification will provide the tax relief from 280E. It does not grant the businesses the ability to take credit cards. So that's something that people like, it can't happen just because one step is achieved. It does not mean the additional hurdles like we face with merchant services and banking. So these are things people have brought up in the past week. So yes, you get 280E, relief, and you get to claim additional tax all of that. You do not get credit card processing. It also expands the ability to research the drug, right? It's now a
Right.
Schedule 3. People get to research it. However, it does not help with source material for the research agencies or the pharmaceutical companies or the universities to get their cannabis to go and do the research. So everyone's excited about the researchability, but they did not open up the door on product acquisition of the controlled substance under a Schedule 3, and that source material has to be sourced from certain places, and they're very limited. So although we are very excited, we are seeing that there are still a couple of milestones we need to achieve for this to be really like feasible and beneficial, because they can
So
only get it from certain places.
it seems to me the Veterans Action Council, led in part by one of our board members, Mike Crowitz, was discussing some of this, and internationally, we have already degraded the cannabis scheduling, downgraded cannabis scheduling. They have downgraded federally. I talked last week a little bit and a couple weeks before that about automatic triggers in the law.
Yeah.
Florida's not an auto trigger state, so if cannabis is rescheduled at the federal government, it won't make any difference to Florida. Florida will have to act independently in order for it to change. Mike was telling us that, and we'll probably hear from him one of these days. We'll ask him to come on and talk about it. That it is possible that we can point to, or that Bondi's office can point to, the international work and say, look, we're just going to follow international and bypass all kinds.
Oh, 100% she can. That's a fact, because not only can she pull, because the scientific review doesn't have to be conducted because of the past presidents and their work, she can pull from the 40 something states that have implemented programs and use that as scientific support. There are 6 million people in the United
100%.
States using cannabis. That is a data set that is invaluable, along with the thousands of doctors that recommend it as a beneficial treatment. So yes, Mike is 100% accurate and utilizing other countries and their data set. This is actually like, if I wanted to research the benefits of cannabis, I can only source it from like one location
100%.
right now.
Yeah.
How do we get
Right.
that
100%.
to open up to multiple growers in different
100%.
levels of growing, micro growers or small family grows, or big conglomerates, or maybe not any of them as source material and someone else opportunity?
Well, this has been a challenge. The University of Mississippi has the only source of cannabis that can
Mississippi
be
or Michigan?
Mississippi.
Oh,
The
okay.
University of Mississippi. Now, a couple of years ago, they tried to find someone new. The University of Mississippi didn't want to do it anymore.
That's right.
So they're trying to find somebody new. So,
We'll do it.
yeah, I think that where we're going to get that cannabis to research it has been a big concern of mine for the last, I don't know, since the Florida cannabis program came into being, at least. I worry about the use of inappropriately tested products being used on my plants before they are well enough known that a company like yours would be testing for it. That's my concern.
That is a puzzle to unpack.
But you can't find something on your test if you don't know to look for it.
There is no way a laboratory that tests for medicinal or adult use cannabis can reverse engineer a product and say, do you want to know everything that's in it? Here's a list. That's not a thing.
Not possible.
They say, look for these things. And then you tell your instruments, look for these things. You make sure they can do it and repeat it and do it all the time. Make sure the analysts know how to run the instrument that looks for it. And then you look for it. But if it's not on that list of things to look for, you don't see it as just a random thing. And yes, that's a big problem, especially if your list is not, we have a pretty good pesticide list in Florida, but it could be more extensive because.
And you don't know what's being created, and you're not a pesticide. You're not a manufacturer of pesticides. You just don't know.
I'm just not.
What goes into the plant makes a difference on what the final impact is. I worry that people that are getting sick from the cannabis, that they're not getting sick from the cannabis. They're getting sick from something that's being an input in the process.
Scromiting.
Is
I can't
an
scrom it
input,
combo. I just can't.
please.
I can't with the scrom it.
So, but end of the year, it's almost something that can't be forgotten. I do like, and I'm glad that you mentioned the 6 million people and the 30,000 doctors, 30,000 plus doctors that have contributed to the body of evidence that moved this. And for people who are worried about whole plant medicine going away, for people who, mom and pops that are worried about their business going away, I think that's legit. And that's a great reason for you to continue to advocate for your own business at the Capitol. We're happy to help teach you how. But I don't think that those people get forgotten.
Right.
Because that's where we're getting our evidence from. And one thing is very clear. We will have enough evidence in the next 3 years that the next president will have clear evidence on how far we can go. And most of us who are familiar with the plant realize that the plant should be completely removed from the Cannabis Controlled Substance Act. Which brings us, I think, did you have anything else you wanted to cover before we talked about Florida
I
Cannabis?
got nothing but positive from here on forward.
From here on out.
And that's what, I mean, we should end the year that way. It's the last episode of the year.
The top 5. But it was tough. Cynthia and I went through this, and I think other team members might think that there were other top 5s. Before we wrap up, I want to thank those of you who have stayed with us through this. I don't think we had Steve today managing our comments, sad face, but it is the holidays, so we get it. I do want to remind you to like and share. That's how we grow. So the top 5 for Florida Cannabis Action Network from 2025.
Okay,
number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. I think the number 5 top thing that we did this year is we created more experts.
That's true. That's very true. Not just in we've had multiple people that were called upon after rescheduling to give subject matter expert opinion in a variety of national and state media outlets, which you guys were on the phone doing interviews back to back to back, yourself included, Josephine, Colette, just a couple. I mean, people were calling upon you guys. That's a big deal to be the voice of
several of our board members were recognized. Mike Crowitz, I mentioned him earlier in the show. He's been in Vienna working at the international space. We have Jen Macris, who was made president of the Cannabis Lawyers and Business lawyers, accountants, and business people in the cannabis space. So she had some real recognition.
She got to talk at MJ Biz.
She had her own segment at MJ Biz. You are, of course, our rising star in the organization. We appreciate that. Number 4.
Yes. Number 4 for 2025.
We said number 4 had to be the guns decision in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. While that's not finished because of the stay at the Supreme Court, we have a real opportunity with our members, Neil Franklin, Nicole Poole, and what's Vera's last name? Vera Cooper.
Cooper.
Thank you. Cooper V. And Vera Cooper her daughter Lauren Drake is part of our team, and I just could not get all the way from Drake to Cooper. Vera Cooper, who have gone the long haul with our attorney Will Hall, gone the long haul, H-A-U-L, with our attorney Will, H-A-L-L.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, right?
You did great.
You like alliteration.
I love alliteration.
Hard on that. That one was hard on me.
Mouthful.
So that gun case is going to make a lot of difference to a lot of people.
And
I think that we will see an impact at the very least in people who are using cannabis legally. And of course, with the downgrading of the cannabis schedule, that should go away entirely. So
that was a big deal.
Cannabis people get guns that we may arm. We may have arms.
It's Florida. Guns and cannabis are practically our slogan. It's a what the Florida, and we love it. What's number 3 for our top 5 of 25?
the outreach of Florida Cannabis Action Network.
Yeah, we have had a
We've
lot.
had incredible outreach. This makes our 28th episode
Hmm.
of Elevated Intel. So for 6 months, someone could tune in on Fridays to the Cannabis Action Network social media and get a little bit of information about what's hot, what's not, and things that they needed to know. Some actionable intel, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's our Wednesday edition is actionable intel.
We
Dun
have
dun
seen
dun.
we have seen a lot of engagement with some of the off Friday episodes where the special editions where we're reporting on something immediately. Yours, I think, was the highest views that we've had so far. Just had thousands of people that tuned in immediately, and that's pretty impressive, Jodi. I mean, yes, we're making money hand over fist. Let me tell you. I think I saw $7
All
coming from.
right.
I'm just kidding. It's not
I'm
about
giddy.
it is not about monetizing the show. This Elevated Intel, since we launched it 6 months ago, has been a true privilege for Jodi and myself to share timely, meaningful information with industry professionals, colleagues, and stakeholders. And we are generally humbled by the response from our audience and deeply grateful for the opportunity to host such thoughtful, accomplished guests whose insights strengthen our mission and help deliver the news that matters to those who actually care. And being able to offer a small measure of clarity or perspective has been an honor. And we sincerely thank everyone who has welcomed us into their lives. And your likes and your comments and your shares and your follows and donations, they mean more to us than words can express. So we are profoundly grateful for everyone that's been tuning in for the past 28 episodes.
Just almost 7 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So number two, we do have a fabulous board. Our board,
Oh, yeah.
we elected some new board members in May. We had a strategic planning meeting. Our next annual meeting is going to be the first weekend in May, where we'll be in Cedar Key. So
Ah,
if you are a dues paying member, that's $5 a month or $50 a year. We have some gold members. We do special things for our gold members. That's $50 a month or $500 a year. And our individual members, our family members, and our gold members, our business sponsors are all going to be invited to celebrate with us for a weekend at Cedar Key. So lots of fun stuff
I
happening that
love it.
first weekend in May. If you're a dues paying member, you will hear more
And if you're not,
about
you
that.
better get up to date on your dues or we're going to kick
That's
you
right.
out of the cool clubhouse in Cedar Key and you can't play with us. But
Yeah.
what is
Hey,
number 2 of your top
well,
5 of
but
25?
I don't want to. Before we move on to number two, I really want to thank all the people who've become members this year.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a lot of people who've stepped up and came into the organization. Some of them are just paying dues, and we're grateful for their $5 a month. And then
Absolutely.
we've had other folks who have said, you know what, I'm joining this organization because I believe in the plant. I know what the plant has done for me, and I'm enjoying doing it with these people. So
Mhm.
that means tremendous to me. Number two,
Number 2. What's your
Carl,
number? You're almost top, but runner up for 2025.
I'm totally proud of the home bill that Carlos Smith
Ah, that's a good
has.
one. That's a good one.
I am totally proud of it. We invited folks from Suncoast Normal,
Yep.
Tallahassee Normal, the state Normal chapter, which of course Normal in Florida also includes members of the National Board of Directors. We invited some attorneys, Mike Minardi, who's one of our business members, and some folks in the space
Yes.
to have some conversations. What can we live with? What do we want to put forward? And
It's a
Carlos Smith
good bill.
knocked it out. It's a good bill. It's a
It's a
good bill.
it's simple language. It's to the point. It doesn't have a lot of fluff and it is very reasonable. We aren't asking for a
100%.
lot. It's reasonable and it's achievable. We need to get some co-sponsors. We need to get a companion bill. We need to get some favorable committees to hear us out. And then we need to get it across the finish line because that homegrow bill that Carlos Guillermo Smith is going to spearhead, we are so proud of him and the contributions that you did too, Jodi, and your group of industry think tank peoples from Normal.
Absolutely. It is a great bill. And that is absolutely number two. I know in my personal journey with cannabis, I can't possibly feel like I'm done with my advocacy until adults who want to put a plant in the ground and experience what it would be like to grow this and nurture this plant. I think that you guys talked about this a little bit, I believe, with Jeff from the Grateful Veteran,
Yeah.
how important being able to get with that plant is. In California in 1997, they were starting to implement Prop 215.
Mhm.
By 2000, 2001, they were still doing some of the city implementation. I visited in 2001 a place called Shelter from the Storm. And it was just some dude's house, and he had this little patio out that they had kind of closed in, and maybe 40, 50 plants, everybody with their little six plants, and it had their little name on it. And people would come in and together they would work their plants, right? 'Cause they had to have
Mhm.
their own. They would have their own plants and they would share tips and they would really find the camaraderie and the companionship. Uh, and being able to care for something else is really
it
good
it
for
kept me
people.
mentally stable during Corona, because not just the having to be socially distanced, but also having to still go to work and try and like get groceries without all the, with all the nuances,
Oh
taking
my.
care of those plants when I did it and realizing that you can grow cannabis very successfully without any experience if you put in the work. It's when you scale that things get a little fuzzy, but it kept me grounded. It gave me some purpose, something to look forward to take care of, like you said, which I think the veteran community would really benefit from, because it's that purpose. It's that, what do I do now? And that's something that it's so much fun. It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
so much fun. In 2025, I think the one thing that I am most proud of,
Number one.
number one, is putting together a Republican-led veterans bill
Mm-hmm.
that has a great chance of bringing some relief to our veterans community. So number one for 2025 for me is the gift that we're going to be able to get veterans throughout the state if we can get veterans bill all the way through. So
It's
we
likely.
have we have a great lineup. We have Susan Valdez sponsoring House Bill 887.
Yep.
That you sort of let the cat out of the bag last week with SB 974. I had told the Grateful Veteran we would not announce until we announced together. So I
You
was
didn't
kind of
tell
like,
me that.
yeah, I didn't. It's true. It's 100%
I'm
true.
sorry to
So
the grateful veteran, because they
uh,
know how
you,
much I would
you
never want to rain on their
never,
parade.
you would never. But and they understood. We didn't really do a whole lot about it. It just kind of it was part of it would have been wrong not to mention it, right? But now we can really
My
celebrate that
bad. Sorry,
887
Jeff and
and
Tara,
and
Andy and Gus.
974 and Gus, right? 974 are real. Uh Senator True now, fabulous Republican senator, kind of center of the state. Um and a traditional farmer, a veteran himself, head of military and veterans affairs, military space and veterans affairs. So top-notch sponsor. Susan Valdez ran this bill for us 2 years ago. Was able to get it in through its first committee. Most people who are watching will realize that we were able to get a draft by Representative Andrade all the way through the House last year. So that sets us up perfectly to really get some traction on that. So hopefully when we get to the end of 2026, one of our top five can be the passage of SB 974 and HB 887.
Whatever they turn that into, as long as the language is relief on the financial burden of the card for veterans. That's pretty much all we needed. We just wanted it to be a one topic request of the of the legislators,
Absolutely.
right? So they don't get
Absolutely.
too distracted because they get distracted pretty easy. So
So
I feel
particularly, it's
2026 is going to be pretty good though.
going to be an interesting year.
We'll know
And
in
we'll
January if it's going to be good or not. I think so.
particularly, hey, by the end of January, it could be scheduled 3. Isn't that something?
By the end of the ball, okay? By the time you're balling out in January, like you
We
either
are
going to be
balling
balling in
with
tears
fruity
or
cannabis.
balling in smiles. We'll see if the ball is a sad ball or a happy ball.
Speaking of the New York, I saw today that the New York ball is going to drop twice in 2026.
Why?
Well, we are celebrating 250 years
Of
as a country, right? As a country. And
1776. And so, yeah, it's 250
2026,
in
250
July.
years, right? So July 3rd at midnight, the ball is going to drop again in
They're
Times
going to
Square.
leave the ball up there
I don't know. No,
for
they're going to
6 months.
they're going to have a brand new one
Okay.
that will commemorate 250 years. So if you have never gone to New York for the ball because you're like, seriously,
No, where am I
January
going to go to the bathroom? Where do I pee?
And I'm freezing.
Yeah. And who are these
So
people?
yeah, who wants to be in that crowd? But at least you won't be freezing if you decide to go January 3rd. So that's the year in review. There's going to be new stuff in 2026.
We should do a Florida Cannabis Action Network dropping of the bowl. Okay. Something to think about.
I cannot wait for the day. I look forward to the day where sharing goes back to being caring, because there was a time where sharing was caring in this space. We have a beautiful hand created pipe that it's like an Indian peace pipe that has never been used. It's all hand painted. It's got beautiful feathers. It's got a beautiful seeing eye. It's got veterans. It's got Florida Can on it. It's never been used.
Okay.
Because there's a day coming where an adult can pass cannabis to another adult without saying that it's hemp or that we had a loophole
or hiding it
or it's medicine. And I don't want to
ashamed.
do that. So one of these days, we will be passing the pipe together.
What's going to be in the pipe?
For all of this. Cannabis. 100%.
No, obviously. It's
Oh, you mean what strain?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out. Is one of these craft growers is growing the perfect.
I think we should go old school, Jack Harris.
Anaheim.
Call him. I know, but he's so near and dear to your heart. I feel like we pay homage to those who paved the way. Paved the way.
So don't forget January 14th and 15th. If you remember, Cynthia's going to teach you the secret handshake.
I will do that.
You will make up a secret handshake. I assigned that to you.
It's more of a dance.
I'm sure you're good.
Oh, that's full body dry heave dance that you're going to learn. There's you bring your own castanets, and we'll get you there across the line in Tallahassee. You have to be in Tallahassee.
I hope everybody who's watching has an amazing New Year's Eve and has all of your resolutions set. Be safe.
Yep.
Be high. Be kind. Anything else? Be safe, be high, be kind.
Be careful.
Sure. Yes. All right. That sounds good to me. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the last episode of 2025. Cynthia Brewer, my co-host, and I'm Jodi James, president of Florida Cannabis Action Network. This was episode 28 of Elevated Intel, and we will see you in 2026.
Bye.
Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with hundreds of Floridians, business owners, and advocates inside the state capitol, ready to make real change. That's what Cannabis at the Capitol is all about. The signature Lobby Day and Education Expo from the Florida Cannabis Action Network, where voices intersect with policy and passion turns into progress. For just $50 for individuals, you'll gain access to expert briefings, self-guided meetings with lawmakers, and the power to influence Florida's cannabis future. For businesses, $300 unlocks premium access. Connect with decision makers, showcase your enterprise, and build alliances in a fast-growing sector. Whether you're a medical patient seeking stronger access, an entrepreneur navigating regulations, or a company ready to stand at the forefront of industry change, this is your platform. One day in Tallahassee could shift a lifetime of regulation. Join us. Be present. Be heard. Be the change at Cannabis at the Capitol.